Hey everybody, I'm JT Dubs.
And I'm Ivan Lichtenstein.
And you're watching The Film Pod. So dramatic.
Well, it is dramatic because we're talking about a dramatic movie, aren't we?
We are. We're actually not talking about superhero movies for once.
Yay!
Because apparently you don't like them, so...
I don't like superhero movies for the most part.
You should have told me that, dude.
I mean...
Oh, well.
Whatever.
So today we're talking about the movie Synecdoche,
New York. Synecdoche, New York.
New York. Yeah, so the film stars Philip Seymour Hoffman and came out in, what, 2008?
Yeah, so it's about a guy named Caden, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman. And it's kind of like this guy. He's a playwright, and his occupation is a playwright, and he's really depressed about his life. His wife left to go to Germany. I think it was Germany. I just watched it last night.
It was Berlin.
So yeah, it's confusing my mind. It's one of the most interesting...
This movie will just...
blow your mind.
It really will.
So what we're doing in this podcast today is kind of making a reaction/review of it. We're not going to totally go in depth about a review because there's so many underlying themes and motifs of the movie
no spoilers, because
that could be interpreted completely subjectively. So we're just going to do a reaction mostly.
And also for anyone watching this, if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see the movie after we talk about this, that's why we're not going to spoil anything, because like it's one of those you just have to watch it. We really can't tell you what happens in it because you have to experience it. It's more of an experience than just a movie, really, honestly. So let's start off with what are your thoughts on the movie?
I loved it. I thought it was a great Charlie Kaufman movie, and he's one of my favorite screenwriters and directors, even though he's only directed 2 movies, including this one. I love him as a screenwriter. I think he's able to make characters and have them say things that feel so natural and realistic to the outside world. Mm-hmm. Nothing seems staged, nothing seems forced, nothing seems stocky. Everything feels natural and off the tongue.
Well, it does get really staged at the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's because he's a playwright.
Yeah.
So he's pretty much writing. He much got this grant from a lot of money to make another play. So he's pretty much writing a play about his life, and the way it's sequenced and the way it's chronologized in the movie is just immaculate to the human brain. And it blows my mind completely.
And the thing about this movie is, like, it starts off very grounded, very realistic.
Yeah.
And over time, the symbolism grows, and really with each passing scene, they throw more stuff at you. Like, it gets deeper, like, on a different level every single scene.
Yeah, and like I said before,
it's over, like, the whole time. It's really cool.
There are small tidbits of symbolism in the beginning that you don't really take into account for, but once it goes to there's a scene in particular where a house is on fire and a woman's buying it. That's the scene that throws it off, and the whole symbolism thing and the whole it makes you really think about the movie as a whole now.
Yeah, the movie, it's hard to talk about it without talking about the details of it, but like really it's such a unique experience because most movies, tell sort of a straightforward story, but this one it just
the narrative is off the wall. It's going places that you don't expect, and that's one of the things I love about the movie.
Too, is that, like you really feel like it captures you like with the movie. Like, for instance, it takes place over the course of several years, and while I was watching it, I felt like I was experiencing several years of this guy's life. I didn't feel like I was watching a 2-hour movie. It felt way longer than that, and I really got pulled in. It was just a really cool like individual experience.
And you could say that one of the arguments is that this movie takes too long. It takes too long to watch it.
No,
but
it's
the whole time you're watching it, you're glad it takes so long because it feels so natural, and you're interested in the character and what he goes through within his life through these several years.
You're living his
life. So
it
totally makes sense that that the viewing experience takes a long time.
You're living his life, and you're feeling like each experience that he has. Like, you really feel for him.
One of the themes I love about this movie is the theme of death and the frugality of life.
Yeah.
Because it's...
There's a lot of good insight.
Yeah, there are a lot of characters that are set up that represent different things around death and the frugality of life and how you should live your life and how people in your life can just die like that instantly and how you should live your life, do all the things you want to do, because one of the messages that it gives off is that you're a sperm longer than you are living, and that you're dead longer than you are living. And that's completely true, and that completely gave me an insight to my mind, and it was something that I knew before, but I never really thought that much about, because in the way I was like, I am sperm longer than I am living, and I am dead longer than I am living, which is completely true.
Yeah, it really makes you think, and it really points out a lot of things that, like, in life should just be kind of obvious, but you don't think about it because we're so distracted by all the things happening in our lives that we don't really take the time to really think about some of these
Yeah,
things.
and like all those distractions within Caden's life are
Yeah.
themes of death, different love relationships that he's going through, themes of people around him and interactions socially. All these things that make up his life. He doesn't really he takes into account in some ways, and then he doesn't really take them into account. But the whole message is that you should take all of these things into account because you only get one life.
It's true. As far as we know, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie, it really, like, after you watch it, and I'm highly encouraging everyone out there to go watch it. It's one of those movies I really think that, like, you experience it and then you just look at life and you look at film differently too. For me, especially as a filmmaker, it made me look at film differently too, because it really showed me like the level that you can communicate a message to your audience.
Yeah.
And you can do it through theme, and you don't just do it through like one speech at the end. You do it through like an ongoing thing throughout the movie.
Several layers of overlapping events over time.
Yeah, several layers of
it's
meaning.
more show don't tell.
Yeah.
And make it more interpretive to the audience than actually make it completely objective for them to automatically know something within the film.
And the meaning goes like so deep too, like because you can look at it at a surface level and see the meaning, but then you can really
dig deep in there and see multiple meanings and what those are interpreted as, what those mean to you, what they mean to society, what they mean to the world. It can go on beyond.
You could watch this movie so many times and still probably notice something new each time.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. So next time we go watch the movie, that I want to actually pay attention to it. Look deeper into the mise en scene. Look deeper into the camera angles. Look deeper into like the character motivations and the purpose within their decisions. And that's another thing in the movie as well, is decisions. Each character makes a decision that has purpose within their life. Mm-hmm. So, for example, there's a character who buys a house on fire. She's making that decision because this is how I interpreted one of the themes in the movie, is that decisions could make a big difference in your life. So the house you buy could be the house you die in. And I think that death is represented by fire, and that you're going to be engulfed within those flames within that house.
Yeah, it's an interesting theme. I don't even know if it is like, I don't even know if that was what was
and there's
intended,
no really correct answer to it, but there's good interpretation based upon what you see in the film.
You can interpret it however you want, and that's really cool too. Is that it doesn't, a lot of the things and a lot of the meanings like I've thought about, and really like there was a certain way I interpreted a lot of things in the movie, but last night after watching it, I really thought about like other interpretations, and I was like, wow, this might not even be like an interpretation that's even close to what they intended, or like they maybe intended it. I mean, they probably intended it for it to have multiple meanings almost. And the thing I love about this movie the most is how deliberate every aspect of it is. Like, you can tell that they paid so much attention to detail when making this.
Yeah, and that's one of the lost.
Very deliberate. And
it's still an art of filmmaking, but I think unfortunately it's getting lost within the whirlwind of all the popular movies that are coming out. I mean, superhero movies, I know I don't like them, but like not only superhero movies, like blockbuster movies, like
movies in general.
Yeah, like blockbuster movies that are made to make money solely, like Jurassic World.
We're not gonna get into that one.
No, I'm trying to think of others. I mean, you could argue that even though it's a really good movie, Jaws was trying to do that.
Oh yeah, well the blockbusters are not.
Yeah, I'm not saying like Jaws is a bad movie at all. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying that movies that are around that like
it's a certain
area.
I mean, yeah,
like a blockbuster is kind of like made to make money. I mean, the name comes from people like literally busting the block of where the theater is to go see the movie, and they're giving the theater money, and that money is going to all the studios for them to make more blockbusters. So it's just this repetitive cycle that just gets repetitive and droning over time that really bores me. And then that's why I think that the art of filmmaking regarding like delivery and story and character motivations, purpose, and underlying themes and layers is just totally lost in translation within that.
Yeah, and I think the thing is too about it is, I think this type of movie isn't necessarily for everyone. I think that I think this is a movie to be appreciated by those who really appreciate film and really like to think about like deeper meanings behind things. I think blockbusters work because you don't have to think about it ever. I think they work for the average moviegoer because most people don't want to be challenged. They just want to, look at what's familiar. And you know what? For most people, if they want that in their life, that's fine. But this movie really opened me up to a a lot of ideas, and I really want to see more movies like this, honestly. To me, this movie reminds me a lot of what people always hyped up Citizen Kane to be. And Citizen Kane's a good movie, but in my film class, they always hyped it up as being this like best movie ever thing. And I watched it, Citizen Kane, and it was a good movie, but I'm sure it was very revolutionary at the time, but like now it's just sort of an average movie and not like this groundbreaking thing. But to me, this movie was almost sort of like what I consider like our generation's Citizen Kane or something.
Really?
Yeah, because it really it's a similar kind of setup of like this man that goes through like life, and you get to like delve into his character, and there's a lot of symbolism and meaning, and it blurs the lines of reality a lot. So I'm not saying it's exactly like Citizen Kane because they're extremely different, but in terms of like sort of the groundbreaking elements to it, I think this movie
keeps it very resonant within the movie.
It's almost like this is like a Citizen Kane for our time almost, because it sort of takes that sort of idea of like, not doing everything the way that Hollywood does it, not doing every single angle at a Hollywood type of angle, or not doing, this obvious symbolism all the time. I mean, this is more symbolism you have to think about. So it's just very deep. I'm gonna have to watch it multiple times.
Yeah. And I can't like leave this review without saying how like phenomenally fantastic and great Philip Seymour Hoffman was in this movie.
Oh my gosh, rest in peace, man.
Oh my god.
So talented. I really believed that character.
Yeah, like
he felt like such a real person in that.
Yeah, and you can tell like how he's so great. He can go from different emotions over time and make it seem so absolutely believable. He can go from sad, he can go from happy, he can go from melancholy, he can go from anger, he can go from spazzing to having health problems. It's quite I was thinking about it actually last night, and it's probably in my like top 10 or top 5 performances by an actor or actress in a film.
Yeah, and the thing about this movie too is there are moments where you will be watching it, you will either tear up. Later, thinking back to some of the moments in there, you'll tear up thinking about it.
Yeah, I was listening to the soundtrack this morning.
Really, it really emotionally will get you, even if you're not the type of person that cries during movies. I didn't cry while I watched it, but I certainly like really felt the emotions.
Yeah,
and even after watching it, thinking back to some of the scenes that were really powerful, it gets me. It really because you feel for this guy. You feel you see everything sort of tragic that happens in his life. And you feel bad for him, and you want him to succeed, but ultimately he's going down this path that is not going to lead to your typical protagonist, victory at the end.
Yeah, and like he's writing a play about his life, but like there's really no ending because he just doesn't really have an ending to his life until like he dies.
Until he dies, yeah.
And that's not like really I wouldn't say it's really a spoiler that people die because it's a known thing by everyone. I mean, It said in the movie that we're all gonna die someday, so you better make the best of what you have now.
Yeah, and the overall sort of theme of this movie is it's very pessimistic at like when you really think about it, because it kind of makes the point that like our lives don't really mean a whole lot, that things go on after us, things are happening before us, and we're very insignificant. But that's kind of pessimistic message that I think is good. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting viewpoint, and I think it's very, very important to think about that type of thing sometimes, because we put so much meaning into our lives a lot of the time. And we think that this is it, this is our life, this is so important. We get so caught up in ourselves, but really, like, our life is one big play, just like his was. Yeah. Except that his was the obvious play, and ours is one that is acted out more naturally, I guess. But
right.
It's interesting, though. Very interesting. I could go on and think about this movie for a long time, and I need to watch it again. We really need to watch it again soon. Like, I'm ready to go back.
I gotta return it to the library though, because I'm gonna be past my due date soon.
We'll re-rent it in like a week or something, man. Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
We'll have to take notes next time.
Yeah, like just get all our journals, get all our pens.
It's homework at times because it's like you got, but it's also
it's like
not
work
homework.
It's
also not homework because like it's you're experiencing it. It's not like just watching a movie, be like, because I'm working on a movie review right now that I'm trying to do on my own, and I had to sit through and take notes. This movie, I started forgetting things about my own life because I was so engulfed. I felt like I was living his life with him.
Yeah,
you forget where you are too. It's wow.
I mean, the suture in the film is totally effective.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's just. I highly recommend this movie to anyone who wants to be challenged intellectually and
wants to critically think about a movie instead of just like sitting there and taking it for what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Well, it's entertaining too, though. Don't get me wrong. It's not.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's not like you'll be sitting there like,
it's a fantastic story.
Like you're not gonna be like, oh, this scene is making me, analyze. No, you're gonna be thinking about it, and it's gonna be natural. You're gonna be really entertained because like the first like maybe 15, 20 minutes of this movie, I was not super like entertained. Like I thought it was like interesting, but I wasn't like, oh, I was like, okay.
I mean, you don't know where it's going though.
And that's what's great with each passing scene. And we even took a break about an hour in and talked about it. We like got something to eat and just talked about the movie. It really, you don't know where it's going, and every scene throws new stuff at you. And it's always on. You don't really get a break. It just keeps going, and it keeps getting deeper and deeper each scene. Just wow. That's all I have to say. Just wow. I stayed up 2 hours last night.
And
just
you don't actually have a review for it.
No, this isn't really a review. This is a reaction.
Really.
A review would take like weeks to probably make if we were gonna.
I mean, do you have like a rating though? Like,
I can't rate this one. I mean, like I think you know what? No, I will rate it.
Okay.
But I'll rate it on an experience level and not rate it as a film.
Okay.
Because as a film, I just have too many questions and too many things I need to like really look at first before I could really rate it. Right. But as an experience, I'd give it a 10 out of 10 because as an experience, it made me think, it entertained me, and it was one of those films that will probably change your life. And if it doesn't, if you're like a film major or someone who is wanting to get in the film industry, it will definitely change your life for sure because you'll see what a film can do.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one 10 out of 10.
Whoa, that's rare for Ivan.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved and adored this movie. I want to watch it again and again.
You just want to marry this movie, Ivan.
I'll just give it a little ring.
Give it a little kissy kiss. We're so weird.
Yeah, we are.
We're such losers. Anyway, so is there anything else you have to say about this movie, Ivan?
No, but do you have any news?
I think that's it actually, and I gotta say that today, as of the day we're filming this, April 14th.
That's the news I was talking about.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. Today, April 14th, the day we're filming it, probably not the day this is going to be uploaded, is the 6-year anniversary of my YouTube channel. Applause. Woo! I started this YouTube channel back when I was... Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Okay, so...
I had to be annoying once in a while.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
So I started this YouTube channel back in 7th grade. I was 13, I think. It's been 6 years. So it's been really a blessing just being able to do all this and be able to continue to entertain you guys all this time. We just hit 300 subs this past week. So really, really, really appreciate all the support you guys continue to give us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and commenting. Even you haters out there, thank you for your comments, because you still watched us.
And you still took the time to enter those comments. So
yeah, I mean, and we laughed at them because they were great. So keep leaving the comments. We love it. All right, so I think that's all we got for today.
All right.
I'm JT Dubs.
And I'm Ivan Lichtenstein.
And you've been watching The Film Pod. See you guys next time.
See you later.
That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go. Owers and tastemakers make us no chaser. Gets the blood flowing like a fucking pacemaker. Cut the middleman and inhale the vapors. Madman, old 10 Don Drapers. Cut the jukebox on, make the woofers blow. We gon' sit here until all them heifers go. Holler at the tens and spend a little dough. Not on them, no, they can buy their own drink.